Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Was Nanny Faye Chrisley ever implicated in the fraud? Was Nanny Faye Chrisley involved in Todd and Julie's fraud case? Fans have been dying to know the truth about this. Some feel as though there is no way she did not know anything about the situation. So this makes people wonder why she is not charged with anything. She has not had the best record with family members in crime. Keep reading to find out more. Julie Chrisley gets resentencing. Julie Chrisley is in prison for tax evasion and fraud. However, no one is sure how much of an involvement she had in the situation. Todd got more time because he was the ringleader of the operation. However, Julie's signature was on things. This does not mean that she knew what she was signing, though. There also was not enough evidence to prove Julie's involvement, so she has a resentencing coming up. This means she could have her sentence reduced. Her family is hoping that she can come home soon. Was Nanny Faye Chrisley implicated in the fraud? People have been dying to know if Nanny Faye Chrisley was implicated in the fraud. Some think she knew more than she let on. However, her true involvement in the situation is unknown. She has not been charged with anything and more than likely never will be. It seems that no one really knows the truth about Nanny Faye and her involvement in the situation. However, no one thinks there is any way she was not involved. If she wasn't involved, she more than likely knew about it and did nothing to stop them. There is a lot of criminal history in Nanny Faye's family, so this would not be something out of the ordinary. For fans of the Chrisley family, one face has always radiated comfort, wit, and down-to-earth charm: Nanny Faye Chrisley. While Todd and Julie Chrisley have dominated headlines due to their high-profile federal fraud conviction, many have quietly wondered, was Nanny Faye ever involved in the financial scandal that brought down the Chrisley empire? The short answer: no, she was never formally implicated. But the story, like everything in the Chrisley world, is layered with twists, emotional undertones, and family loyalty that complicates everything. The Southern matriarch who became a star, Nanny Faye, with her Southern sass and unforgettable one-liners, quickly became a fan favorite on Chrisley Knows Best. She wasn't just comic relief. She was a grounding force in the otherwise extravagant, controlled chaos of the Chrisley household. Her love for slot machines, questionable homemade remedies, and fierce loyalty to her family made her the heart of the show. But when the fraud charges surfaced and the legal noose began tightening around Todd and Julie, fans began asking, how could someone living under the same roof have no clue what was going on? The timeline of the scandal: Todd and Julie Chrisley were indicted in 2019 on charges, including conspiracy to commit bank fraud and tax evasion. Prosecutors alleged that the couple submitted false documents to banks to secure over $30 million in loans. They also faced accusations of hiding income from their reality show and evading taxes. The scheme allegedly spanned over a decade. Emails and testimonies painted a picture of intentional deceit, meticulous planning, and, surprisingly, a cast of supporting characters who turned on the Chrisleys in court. Yet through it all, Nanny Faye's name never appeared on the list of co-conspirators, witnesses, or persons of interest. Was she truly in the dark? According to court documents and federal investigators, there was no evidence that Nanny Faye was involved in the financial dealings that led to the downfall. Still, the idea that she was unaware of the shady undercurrents in her son's life sparked endless online speculation. Some fans argue that her role as a doting grandmother and comedian on the show may have blinded people to her potential knowledge. After all, she lived under the same roof for much of the time the fraud allegedly occurred. She saw the lavish lifestyle, the Bentleys, the designer clothes, the sprawling homes. Surely she wondered where it is that her ignorance was authentic. Nanny Faye has never pretended to be financially savvy. In fact, on more than one episode, she admitted to not understanding the modern ways of money, credit cards, or even online shopping. Could a woman who needed help using an iPad really be masterminding, or even understanding, a complex financial fraud? Her heartbreaking court appearance. In a rare moment of legal relevance, Nanny Faye did appear in court, not as a suspect, but as a witness for the defense. Sitting frail yet composed on the stand, she emotionally pleaded for leniency. She spoke of her declining health, the loss of her husband, and her fear of dying while her family was being torn apart. "I may not understand all the legal mumbo-jumbo," she said with a trembling voice, "but I do know this. My son and daughter-in-law love their family." Her testimony didn't alter the course of the verdict, but it solidified her image in the public's eye. A grieving mother and grandmother caught in the storm, but never steering the ship. The fallout and family tension. After Todd and Julie's sentencing, Nanny Faye found herself in a strange limbo. She was now the family's unofficial emotional guardian. Savannah, Chase, and even Grayson looked to her for emotional stability. But behind closed doors, sources close to the family say there was tension. Nanny Faye was heartbroken, an anonymous insider claimed. She believed in her son. But when everything came crashing down, she couldn't help but ask herself if there was something she missed, or chose not to see. And while she never faced legal scrutiny, she bore the emotional consequences. Once a proud vocal supporter of everything Todd did, she became noticeably quieter in interviews, sticking to lighter topics like gardening, grandkids, and her beloved dogs. Rumors, theories, and online speculation. Social media sleuths, of course, couldn't resist digging deeper. A few even floated wild conspiracy theories, like that Nanny Faye had secret offshore accounts, or that she took the fall for certain records disappearing. But these theories never gained traction. No credible journalist or investigator ever linked her to fraudulent activity. And her bank records, lifestyle, and public behavior remained consistent. She was always the same woman fans knew, pushing shopping carts with orthopedic shoes and hitting the casino in search of a lucky quarter machine. Life after the verdict. In the aftermath of the trial, Nanny Faye stepped into the spotlight in a surprising way, as a symbol of resilience. She began appearing on Savannah Chrisley's podcast, Unlocked, sharing her unfiltered thoughts on everything from grief to fried chicken recipes. She didn't shy away from mentioning the trial, though she never criticized the justice system outright. Her focus was on healing, protecting her grandkids, and living what's left of her life with peace. "God's got me," she once said, tearing up on camera. "I can't change what's happened, but I can choose how I live the rest of my days. And honey, I ain't gonna spend them crying." The verdict on Nanny Faye. So, was Nanny Faye ever implicated in the Chrisley family fraud? No, not legally, not financially, and not ethically. She remains untouched by the stain of the scandal, not because she's infallible, but because she was never part of the machinery. She was, and always has been, the heart, not the hand, behind the Chrisley name.